Ever had a mechanic tell you that a $500 oxygen sensor replacement is the only way to turn off that glowing check engine light? Before you hand over your credit card, you need to know a secret the pros rarely share. Your sensor probably isn't broken, it's just suffocating. Over thousands of miles, a cocktail of cheap fuel and stop-and-go traffic coats your sensor in a thick, glass-like soot that effectively blinds your car's brain. When your engine can't see what it's burning, it defaults to rich mode, dumping extra fuel and tanking your MPG. Today, we're showing you how to perform a $10 rescue operation using 9 industry-vetted tricks to clean your O2 sensor, many without even turning a wrench. Trick number 9, the fuel additive tank in method. Most drivers panic when they see a P0131 or P0135 code, assuming the hardware has physically failed. In reality, that sensor is usually just buried under a layer of carbon gummy bears, sticky, unburnt hydrocarbons that act like a blindfold. If you spend most of your time in city traffic, your exhaust never gets hot enough to burn this gunk off. Instead of a teardown, we start with a liquid technician. You're looking for a high-performance fuel system cleaner, specifically one labeled O2 sensor safe or catalytic converter cleaner. These aren't your standard cheap detergents. They contain specialized polyethylamine P compounds that survive the combustion chamber. As these chemicals turn into a high-temperature vapor, they scrub the sensor tip as they exit the exhaust. Pro tip: for maximum potency, wait until your tank is at 1/4 full before adding the bottle. This concentration ensures the chemical-to-fuel ratio is aggressive enough to actually dissolve carbon. Drive it for 20 miles at varied speeds. You'll likely feel that low-end stumble at stoplights begin to vanish as the sensor starts seeing oxygen levels clearly again. Trick number 8, the intake vacuum sip. In a high-volume repair shop, time is money. A master tech doesn't have a week to wait for a tank of treated fuel to circulate. They use what we call a direct strike. This method turns your engine's own vacuum system into a delivery straw, pulling cleaning agents directly into the intake manifold. By disconnecting a major vacuum line, typically the brake booster hose, and allowing the engine to sip a specialized aerosol cleaner while holding the RPMs at a steady 2000, you create a chemical fog. This atomized mist hits the O2 sensor at high velocity. It's essentially an internal pressure wash for the sensor's delicate zirconium element. If you see a massive cloud of white smoke from the tailpipe, stay calm. That's just years of engine blindness being purged in real time. It's a 10-minute procedure that can instantly restore throttle response that's been missing for years. Trick number 7, the Italian tune-up. Long before we had sophisticated scanners, old-school mechanics relied on thermal intervention. They noticed that grocery getters, cars driven only short distances, choked up much faster than highway cruisers. The reason? The O2 sensor needs to reach about 600 degrees F to even start working, but it needs significantly more heat to stay clean. The Italian tune-up uses no chemicals, just physics. By driving at highway speeds in a lower gear, keep your RPMs between 3000 and 4000. For 15 minutes, you raise exhaust gas temperatures to their peak. This turns your exhaust system into a self-cleaning oven, incinerating soft carbon into a fine white ash that simply blows out the back. It's a zero-cost way to reset your fuel trims. I recommend doing this once a month to prevent carbon from ever getting a foothold on your sensor's tip. Trick number 6, the vinegar and baking soda bubble. There's a common myth in the industry that once a sensor is poisoned by mineral deposits, it's scrap. I've seen countless DIYers fire the parts cannon, wasting hundreds of dollars because the carbon was baked on too hard for a spray to fix. But you can actually use basic chemistry to save it. This trick requires removing the sensor and submerging just the metal tip in distilled white vinegar. The mild acetic acid works to break down the calcified ash that thermal cleaning can't touch. When you add a spoonful of baking soda, the resulting CO2 reaction creates a mechanical fizzing that lifts loosened debris out of the internal sensing element. It's a pennies on the dollar recovery. When the liquid turns murky black, you know you've just saved yourself a trip to the parts store. Just remember, rinse with distilled water and dry it completely before reinstallation. Trick number 5, the gasoline or acetone bath. In performance shops where engines run rich and oil blow-by is common, sensors often get coated in a varnish, a plastic-like film that standard cleaners can't penetrate. This is the heavy artillery. You have to fight fuel-based contaminants with fuel-based solvents. By soaking the sensor tip overnight in a bath of gasoline or high-grade acetone, you're using industrial-strength solvents to melt away that greasy varnish. These chemicals penetrate the tiny ventilation windows in the sensor's shroud to reach the ceramic bulb inside. By morning, a sensor that looked like a charcoal briquette will often look like brand new stainless steel. If your idle has been surging or hunting, this deep solvent soak is often the only thing that can bring it back to a steady 800 RPM. Trick number 4, specialized oxygen sensor spray. Precision matters. A major mistake I see is people using heavy degreasers or brake cleaners on an O2 sensor. Those cleaners often leave behind a microscopic oily residue. Once that residue hits 600 degrees, it bakes into a permanent insulator, effectively killing the sensor for good. Dedicated O2 sensor sprays are engineered to be zero residue. They flash evaporate in seconds. When you use this, you're blasting the spray directly into the shroud holes to flush out contaminants. It's a professional-grade dry clean for your engine's most sensitive probe. It's the most reliable way to get a professional result in your driveway without the risk of contaminating the delicate internal circuitry. Trick number 3, the soft nylon scrub. I once saw a veteran tech fix a dead sensor with nothing but a discarded toothbrush. Sometimes the issue isn't chemical, it's mechanical. Over time, the tiny ventilation holes in the sensor's protective shroud get plugged with hard, crusty deposits. If air can't get in, the sensor can't read. Using a soft nylon brush, you can flick away these outer layers of crust. The goal isn't to make the metal shine, it's to clear the airways. Always hold the sensor tip down so the dust falls away rather than getting pushed deeper into the element. Never use a wire brush. Even a microscopic scratch on the internal ceramic can ruin the sensor's ability to generate voltage. This simple bit of manual labor can turn a choking engine into a smooth-running machine for the price of a used toothbrush. Trick number 2, the penetrating oil creep. The biggest hurdle isn't always cleaning the sensor, it's getting the damn thing out. Oxygen sensors live in the harshest environment on the car, subject to thousands of heat cycles that weld the threads to the exhaust pipe. Using a giant breaker bar on a seized sensor is a recipe for stripped threads and a ruined exhaust manifold. The creep method requires patience. Spray a high-quality penetrating oil specifically where the sensor meets the pipe while the metal is stone cold. Cold metal pulls the oil into the microscopic gaps via capillary action. Let it sit overnight. This dissolves the rust bond from the inside out, turning a nightmare job into a simple 10-second turn of the wrench the next morning. It's the difference between a 10-minute fix and a $1,000 exhaust repair. Trick number 1, the reference hole clear. This is the holy grail of O2 sensor secrets. Most people think the sensor only cares about what's inside the exhaust, but the O2 sensor is actually a comparison tool. It needs to compare the dirty exhaust gas to clean, outside air to work. That outside air enters through a tiny pin-sized reference hole on the body of the sensor, usually near where the wires go in. If this hole is plugged by road salt, mud, or even undercoating spray, the sensor suffocates and sends a false signal to the computer. You don't need chemicals here, just a quick blast of compressed air to ensure that reference port is clear. When you restore the sensor's ability to breathe outside air, you restore its sanity. Before you spend half a paycheck on new parts, try these steps. Most broken sensors are just waiting for a little maintenance. Which of these methods are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this valuable, hit that subscribe button to keep your car and your wallet running at peak performance.